What if I told you that hidden inside the pages of the Bible written thousands of years ago is a list of foods so powerful? Modern science is only now catching up to what ancient peoples already knew. These aren't trendy supplements. They aren't exotic berries from some rainforest you've never heard of. They are nuts. Simple, humble, God-given nuts. Mentioned in Scripture. Eaten by prophets, kings, and even Jesus himself. And 11 of them have been shown to support the heart, sharpen the mind, protect the body from disease, and slow down the very process of aging. In this video, I'm going to walk you through all 11 one by one, and by the time we reach number 1, you'll understand why your grocery list may never look the same again. So grab a drink, get comfortable, and before we begin, if you love learning about God's original pharmacy, hit that subscribe button, because we post videos like this every single week. Let's get into it. Before we count down these 11 biblical nuts, let me tell you something most people don't realize. The Bible isn't just a spiritual book. It's also one of the oldest nutritional guides in human history. Scattered throughout its pages in Genesis, in Numbers, in the Song of Solomon, in the Gospels, you'll find references to specific foods that God's people ate, traded, offered as gifts, and used as medicine. And nuts? Nuts appear over and over again. They were lightweight. They stored well in the desert heat. They were packed with energy, good fats, and protein, exactly what a traveling people needed to survive. But here's the beautiful part. Modern researchers at Harvard, at the Mayo Clinic, at universities across the world have now studied these exact same nuts. And what they've found is remarkable. The same foods the Israelites carried in their pouches 3,000 years ago are being linked today to lower rates of heart disease, better brain function, stronger bones, and longer life. So this isn't superstition. This isn't folklore. This is ancient wisdom meeting modern science. And today you get both. One quick note before we start counting. These nuts are most beneficial when eaten raw or lightly roasted, without added sugar, salt, or oil. A small handful a day, that's all it takes. You don't need to overdo it. God designed these foods to work in small, faithful doses. All right, let's begin the countdown. We're starting at number 11 and working our way down to the single most powerful biblical nut of them all. Number 11 on our list. The chestnut. Chestnuts are mentioned in the book of Genesis, chapter 30, verse 37, where Jacob uses rods from chestnut trees in a famous story with his flocks. They're also mentioned in Ezekiel 31, where the prophet compares the mighty cedars of Lebanon to chestnut trees, a symbol of strength and endurance. Now here's what makes the chestnut unique among nuts. Unlike almonds or walnuts, chestnuts are actually low in fat. They're closer to a grain than a traditional nut. That means they're rich in complex carbohydrates, giving your body slow, steady energy, the kind that doesn't spike your blood sugar and leave you crashing an hour later. Chestnuts are also one of the only nuts that contain significant amounts of vitamin C. A single serving can provide around 40% of your daily vitamin C needs. That's nearly unheard of in the nut family. What does this mean for your health? Vitamin C supports your immune system, helps your body produce collagen for healthy skin and joints, and acts as a powerful antioxidant that protects your cells from damage. Chestnuts are also rich in manganese, copper, and B vitamins, which support energy metabolism and nervous system function. Research published in nutrition journals has suggested that the antioxidants in chestnuts, including gallic acid and ellagic acid, may help reduce inflammation in the body. And chronic inflammation, as you may know, is linked to nearly every major modern disease, from heart disease to diabetes to Alzheimer's. How to eat them? Chestnuts are traditionally roasted. You can find them fresh in the fall or dried and ground into flour the rest of the year. Roasted chestnuts taste slightly sweet, almost like a cross between a sweet potato and a hazelnut. Add a handful to soups, stuffings, or simply enjoy them warm by the fire the way people have for thousands of years. Chestnuts, biblical, humble, and quietly powerful. Coming in at number 10, the hazelnut. Some Bible translations mention hazelnuts directly, particularly in Genesis 30 verse 37, where Jacob is said to have taken rods of hazel along with other trees. While scholars debate the exact species referenced in the original Hebrew, what we do know is that hazelnut trees grew abundantly in the ancient Near East and were part of the diet of the people of that region. The hazelnut is small, but it's a nutritional giant. 1 ounce, about a handful, gives you nearly 90% of your daily vitamin E. Vitamin E is one of the body's master antioxidants. It protects your cells from oxidative damage, supports healthy skin, and has been studied for its role in slowing cognitive decline. Hazelnuts are also rich in monounsaturated fats, the same type of healthy fat found in olive oil. These fats have been shown in large population studies to support healthy cholesterol levels, improve arterial function, and reduce the risk of cardiovascular disease. Here's something fascinating. Hazelnuts contain a compound called proanthocyanidins, the same class of antioxidants found in red wine and dark chocolate. These compounds have been linked to improved blood flow, reduced inflammation, and even better skin elasticity. And for anyone concerned about brain health, hazelnuts are a smart choice. They contain thiamine, folate, and manganese, all essential for brain function and memory. How to eat them? Raw hazelnuts are delicious on their own. You can chop them into salads, blend them into homemade nut butter, or pair them with dark chocolate for a heart-healthy treat. Just be sure to choose unsweetened, unroasted varieties when possible. Hazelnuts, small, ancient, and packed with vitamin E, your body desperately needs. Number 9 may surprise you, the acorn. Now, acorns aren't always thought of as a food in modern times. But in the Bible, oak trees, the tree that produces acorns, are mentioned dozens of times. Abraham pitched his tent beneath the oaks of Mamre. Deborah, the prophetess, sat under an oak. Saul was buried under an oak. The oak tree was sacred, symbolic, and deeply woven into the life of God's people. And in many ancient cultures, including regions surrounding Israel, acorns were ground into flour and used as food during times of need. Archaeological evidence shows that acorns were a staple food source for thousands of years. Nutritionally, acorns are impressive. They're rich in healthy fats, protein, and a wide range of minerals including potassium, iron, magnesium, and phosphorus. They also contain antioxidant compounds called tannins which, in their raw form, make acorns bitter and require leaching in water before eating. Traditional peoples knew exactly how to prepare them safely. Once properly prepared, acorns have been associated with supporting digestive health, providing sustained energy, and offering plant-based protein. Some studies have examined the anti-inflammatory properties of acorn extracts, suggesting potential benefits for gut health and immune function. Now, I'm not suggesting you go out and harvest acorns from your backyard oak without knowing what you're doing. But acorn flour is available from specialty suppliers, and traditional acorn bread is still eaten in parts of Korea, Spain, and the American Southwest. The deeper lesson here: God's creation provides food in the most unexpected places. The acorn reminds us that humble things, properly prepared, can nourish generations. We're now more than a quarter of the way through our countdown, and we've already covered 3 nuts with remarkable health benefits. But the next 8 are where things get really interesting. So stay with me, because number 3 and number 1 on this list are truly life-changing. If you're finding value in this video, take 1 second to hit that like button. It genuinely helps us reach more people who need this information. Let's keep going. At number 8, the chia seed. Now, technically chia is a seed, but it's commonly grouped with nuts in biblical and ancient nutrition discussions because of its role as a protein and fat-dense food. Some scholars believe that the manna, or the small seed-like foods eaten by ancient peoples of the broader Mediterranean and Middle East region, included chia-like seeds from plants in the salvia family, which were native to the ancient world. Whether or not chia itself walked the streets of Jerusalem, the principle holds: tiny seeds, ancient wisdom, modern superfood. Chia seeds are one of the richest plant sources of omega-3 fatty acids on the planet. Omega-3s are essential for brain function, heart health, and reducing systemic inflammation. A single tablespoon of chia seeds contains around 2.5 grams of omega-3s, more than you'd get from most fish servings. Chia is also extraordinarily high in fiber. Just 2 tablespoons provide nearly 10 grams of fiber, which supports digestion, feeds beneficial gut bacteria, and helps stabilize blood sugar. This is especially valuable for anyone managing weight, energy levels, or metabolic health. On top of that, chia seeds deliver calcium, magnesium, phosphorus, and complete plant protein, meaning they contain all 9 essential amino acids. Research has associated regular chia seed consumption with improved cholesterol profiles, better blood pressure control, and enhanced athletic endurance. In fact, the name chia comes from an ancient word meaning strength. How to eat them? Chia seeds are incredibly versatile. Stir them into water or juice and let them gel for a few minutes to make a natural pudding. Sprinkle them over oatmeal, yogurt, or salads. Blend them into smoothies. Chia, tiny, ancient, and nutritionally unmatched. Sliding into the 7th spot, flaxseed. Flax has been cultivated for over 7,000 years, and its use is well documented in ancient Egypt and the surrounding regions during biblical times. Linen, the fine fabric mentioned throughout Scripture, worn by priests and used in the tabernacle, is made from the flax plant. Proverbs 31 even mentions the virtuous woman working with flax. But the seeds of the flax plant are where the health magic lives. Flax seeds are the single richest plant source of a compound called lignans, phytoestrogens, that have been studied for their potential role in hormonal balance and certain cancer prevention pathways, particularly breast cancer. Flax also delivers a massive dose of omega-3 fatty acids in the form of ALA, alpha-linolenic acid. 2 tablespoons of ground flaxseed provide about 4 grams of fiber, 4 grams of protein, and significant omega-3s. That same serving is associated in research with lower LDL cholesterol, reduced blood pressure, and improved gut health. For women in particular, flaxseed has been studied extensively for its role in supporting hormonal health during perimenopause and menopause, thanks to those same lignans. One critical tip: flax seeds must be ground to unlock their nutrients. Whole flax seeds pass through your digestive system largely intact. Buy them whole and grind them fresh in a coffee grinder, or purchase pre-ground flaxseed meal and store it in the refrigerator to prevent the oils from going rancid. How to eat them? Stir a tablespoon into oatmeal. Blend into smoothies, sprinkle over salads, or use as an egg substitute in baking. 1 tablespoon of ground flax plus 3 tablespoons of water equals 1 egg. Flaxseed, biblical, humble, hormonally balancing. Number 6. The sesame seed. Sesame is one of the oldest oilseed crops known to humanity, cultivated for over 3,500 years. While sesame isn't named directly in most English Bible translations, it was widely grown in the ancient Near East and used in Middle Eastern diets throughout the biblical era. Many scholars believe the oil mentioned in several Old Testament passages may have included sesame oil alongside olive oil. Today, sesame seeds are making a comeback among nutrition researchers, and for good reason. First, Sesame is one of the richest plant sources of calcium. Just 1 tablespoon of unhulled sesame seeds contains nearly 90 milligrams of calcium, more than most dairy products per serving. This makes them especially valuable for anyone who avoids dairy or is concerned about bone health. Sesame seeds also contain unique compounds called sesamin and sesamolin lignans that have been studied for their ability to support liver function, balance cholesterol, and act as powerful antioxidants. Some research suggests sesame lignans may help the body maintain healthy blood pressure. And sesame is a solid source of plant protein, magnesium, iron, zinc, and B vitamins, especially B1 thiamine, which supports nervous system health and energy production. How to eat them? Sprinkle sesame seeds over salads, stir fries, or roasted vegetables. Use tahini, which is simply ground sesame paste, as a base for dressings, hummus, or drizzled over roasted sweet potatoes. Even a daily tablespoon can contribute meaningful nutrition over time. Sesame. Tiny. Calcium-rich. Deeply rooted in biblical soil. We're now halfway through the list. The top 5 nuts are coming up, and I'll be honest with you. Number 1 is the single most recommended nut in all of Scripture, and modern science has thoroughly validated why. But before we get there, one quick request. If you've learned something new already, share this video with someone you love. Health is a gift worth passing on. Alright, let's dive into the top 5. At number 5, pomegranate seeds. Now before you say, wait, a pomegranate isn't a nut, you're right. Technically, pomegranate seeds are called arils, but in ancient nutritional traditions, the crunchy, nutrient-dense seed of the pomegranate was grouped with seeds and nuts as a concentrated food source, and no list of biblical superfoods would be complete without it. Pomegranates are mentioned throughout the Bible at least 24 times. They adorned the robes of the high priest, the pillars of Solomon's temple, and are celebrated in the Song of Solomon as a symbol of beauty and fertility. They're one of the 7 species listed in Deuteronomy 8 as the defining crops of the Promised Land. And modern science? Absolutely in love with the pomegranate. Pomegranate seeds are packed with antioxidants called punicle agents, compounds so potent that research has associated pomegranate consumption with reduced blood pressure, improved cholesterol balance, and better blood flow. Some studies have even examined pomegranate's effects on prostate health and cognitive function in aging adults. The seeds are also rich in fiber, vitamin C, vitamin K, and folate. 1 cup of pomegranate arils contains about 7 grams of fiber, significant for digestive health and blood sugar regulation. What makes pomegranates truly special is the synergy of their compounds. The antioxidant activity of pomegranate juice has been measured, in some studies, to be higher than that of red wine or green tea. How to eat them? Eat the whole aril, seeds and all. The little crunchy seed inside contains fiber and additional phytonutrients. Sprinkle them over salads, yogurt, or simply enjoy them by the handful as a sweet tart snack. Pomegranate. Biblical royalty. Heart healing. Time-tested. Number 4. Pine nuts. Pine nuts, harvested from certain species of pine trees, were well known in the ancient Mediterranean and Middle Eastern world. The terebinth and pine trees mentioned in passages like Hosea chapter 14 produced nuts that were gathered and eaten. Archaeological digs in Israel have uncovered pine nut remains in sites dating back thousands of years. Small but mighty, pine nuts deliver a unique nutritional profile. They're especially rich in pinolenic acid, a fatty acid that has been researched for its role in appetite regulation. Studies have suggested that pinolenic acid may help trigger the release of hormones that signal fullness, potentially supporting healthy weight management. Pine nuts are also excellent sources of magnesium, manganese, zinc, and vitamin K. Magnesium alone supports over 300 enzymatic processes in the body, from muscle function to sleep quality to blood sugar regulation. They also contain vitamin E and lutein, an antioxidant especially important for eye health and protecting vision as we age. On top of all that, pine nuts are a respectable source of plant protein and healthy monounsaturated fats, the same heart-friendly fats that dominate the Mediterranean diet. How to eat them? Pine nuts are traditionally used in pesto, but their uses go far beyond. Toast them lightly in a dry skillet and sprinkle over pasta, salads, or roasted vegetables. Stir them into rice dishes. Enjoy them in small handfuls. They're calorically dense, so a little goes a long way. Pine nuts, ancient, satisfying, surprisingly powerful. At number 3, the walnut. Walnuts have a rich biblical and ancient history. The Song of Solomon, chapter 6, verse 11 contains a beautiful reference. I went down into the garden of nuts to see the fruits of the valley. Many biblical scholars believe this garden of nuts refers specifically to walnut groves, which were cultivated throughout the ancient Mediterranean. And of all the nuts on this list, walnuts may be the most celebrated by modern nutrition science. Here's why. Walnuts are one of the best plant sources of omega-3 fatty acids on Earth. A single ounce, about 14 walnut halves, delivers more omega-3s than many fish. These healthy fats are essential for brain function, heart health, and reducing inflammation throughout the body. Walnuts have been extensively researched. Studies published in major medical journals have linked regular walnut consumption to improved cardiovascular markers, better cholesterol profiles, improved cognitive performance in older adults, and even improvements in mood and sleep quality. Researchers have noted something poetic. The walnut actually resembles the human brain. It has 2 hemispheres, wrinkles and folds, and contains the very fats and nutrients that support brain health: omega-3s, vitamin E, folate, and polyphenols. Walnuts are also exceptionally high in antioxidants. In fact, a 2011 study in the Journal of Nutrition found that walnuts contained more antioxidants per serving than any other common nut tested. And for gut health, walnuts have been shown to support beneficial gut bacteria, which in turn affects everything from mood to immunity to metabolism. How to eat them? Raw walnuts are best. A small handful daily, about 1 ounce, is the amount most studies have used to demonstrate benefit. Add them to oatmeal, salads, or simply enjoy them on their own. Store walnuts in the refrigerator or freezer, as their delicate oils can go rancid at room temperature. Walnuts, brain food, heart food, biblical food. Number 2 on our list, the pistachio. Pistachios are mentioned specifically in the book of Genesis, chapter 43, verse 11, one of the most memorable food references in all of Scripture. When the patriarch Jacob sends his sons back to Egypt with gifts for the ruler they don't yet realize is their brother Joseph, he instructs them to bring the best fruits of the land, a little balm and a little honey, spices and myrrh, nuts and almonds. Many Bible translations specifically identify those nuts as pistachios. Pistachios were considered a luxury food, a treasure of the land, worthy of being offered to royalty, and nutritionally, they live up to that honor. Pistachios are unique among nuts for their protein density. They're one of the highest protein nuts, containing about 6 grams of protein per ounce. They also provide all 9 essential amino acids, something rare in the plant world. They're rich in vitamin B6, which supports immune function, brain development, and the production of neurotransmitters like serotonin and dopamine. A single serving of pistachios can provide about a quarter of your daily B6 needs. Pistachios are also loaded with lutein and zeaxanthin, 2 carotenoids that are critical for eye health and have been linked to reduced risk of age-related macular degeneration. Research has connected regular pistachio consumption to improved cholesterol levels, better blood sugar control in people with prediabetes, and healthy blood pressure. And here's a fun benefit: the shells. Eating pistachios in the shell naturally slows down your consumption, helping with portion control and mindful eating. Studies have actually shown that people who eat in-shell pistachios consume significantly fewer calories than those eating shelled pistachios without feeling any less satisfied. How to eat them? Enjoy them raw or dry roasted, unsalted when possible. A handful a day is plenty. Toss them into salads, grain bowls, or enjoy them as a standalone snack. Pistachios, ancient royalty, protein powerhouse, eye protector. And at number 1, the most referenced, most celebrated, most biblically significant nut of them all, the almond. The almond appears throughout Scripture in ways no other nut does. In Genesis 43, Jacob sends almonds as gifts to Egypt. In Numbers 17, the rod of Aaron miraculously buds and produces almonds overnight, a sign of divine appointment. In Exodus 25, the golden lampstand in the tabernacle is designed with cups made like almond blossoms. In Jeremiah 1, God shows the prophet a branch of an almond tree as a sign of his watchfulness, because the Hebrew word for almond, shaked, sounds like the word shoked, meaning watching. The almond was sacred, the almond was symbolic, and the almond was deeply, thoroughly healthy. Let's talk about why science agrees. Almonds are one of the most nutrient-dense foods on the planet. A single ounce, about 23 almonds, contains 6 grams of protein, 4 grams of fiber, 14 grams of healthy monounsaturated fats, and nearly 40% of your daily vitamin E. They also provide magnesium, riboflavin, phosphorus, and manganese. The research on almonds is extensive and consistent. Studies have linked regular almond consumption to lower LDL cholesterol, improved blood sugar control, healthy blood pressure, reduced hunger, and better weight management. Because almonds are rich in vitamin E and healthy fats, they've also been studied for their role in supporting skin health and slowing signs of aging. Almonds are particularly valuable for brain health. They're rich in riboflavin and L-carnitine nutrients that support cognitive function, and their vitamin E content has been associated in observational research with a lower risk of cognitive decline. Soaking almonds overnight and removing the skins, a traditional practice going back thousands of years, may make them easier to digest and can reduce compounds like phytic acid that interfere with mineral absorption. This is how many people in the Middle East and Mediterranean still eat them today. How to eat them? A small handful of raw or lightly roasted almonds per day is the dose used in most research. Eat them plain. Stir them into yogurt. Blend them into almond butter, or use almond flour in healthy baking. Almonds, the most biblical of all nuts, a symbol of watchfulness, of provision, of God's care, and perhaps the single most well-researched nut in modern nutrition. So there you have it. 11 biblical nuts, each one mentioned in, or directly connected to, the pages of Scripture. Each one validated, thousands of years later, by modern science. Let's recap one more time. Number 11, chestnuts. Number 10, hazelnuts. Number 9, acorns. Number 8, chia seeds. Number 7, flax seeds. Number 6, sesame seeds. Number 5, pomegranate seeds. Number 4, pine nuts. Number 3, walnuts. Number 2, pistachios. And number 1, the almond. 11 foods. Ancient wisdom. Modern proof. Here's my challenge to you. This week, pick just 3 of these nuts, the ones that spoke to you the most, and add them to your daily routine. A small handful. That's it. Don't overcomplicate it. Let God's original pharmacy work quietly, faithfully, day after day. And if this video blessed you, do 3 things for me. Hit that like button, subscribe to the channel so you don't miss our next deep dive into biblical nutrition, and share this video with someone you love, because health is the greatest gift we can pass on. Thank you for spending this time with me. I'll see you in the next video.